Hi guys, Michael here with Hello Cupcake. It's me, and I'm doing a update video. Uh, it's been one hell of a ride the last month and a half. I've been dealing with a lot of depression and just a lot of personal drama and things going on with my friends. I had one friend reconnect with me after almost 30 years of not talking to them. And it was like just picking up where we had left off, basically when we were kids. And then there was like radio silence for a while. Then I see a posting on his mom's Facebook page that he was found murdered in Los Angeles on Skid Row. So that kind of hit me hard. And then not even a week after that, another friend of mine had a stroke and has been in the ICU now for 4, maybe 5 weeks. And we've all just been praying for her speedy recovery. They finally took her off of the incubate, or the tube that they stick down to help you breathe or whatever, intubator or something like that. So that's good. And then another friend of mine who was just turning 28 passed away unexpectedly. She'd been having some serious depression issues and things like that after she had a weight loss surgery. And I don't know what happened, but her mom came home and found her dead on the floor. She said it looked like she had slipped and hit her head getting out of the shower. And I have a lot of remorse and guilt about her passage. For a week prior to her trying to get a hold of me, I kept sending her to voicemail just because I personally wasn't in a good headspace to deal with her at the time. And I'm hoping that she didn't commit suicide and her mom is just saying that she slipped and hit her head. So I guess we'll never know exactly what happened, or at least I'll never know exactly what had happened. And when I got the news of her passing, I just started crying, and I said out into the universe, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there during the last couple of days of your life. Please forgive me. And, I don't know. I had to get it off my chest, and I had to forgive myself for not being there for her like I probably should have. But I just was not in the right mental headspace to do so at the time. So, dealt with that, and then I was supposed to start a new medication. As I may have said in the blog or on one of my videos, I suffer from low testosterone. Most men my age is usually somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000, and I'm at like 106. And so my doctors were telling me that 85-year-old men with pancreatic cancer typically have a higher testosterone level than what I actually do right now. So I started taking testosterone injections, and last Thursday was the first time that I had taken it. So today's Wednesday, so tomorrow will have been 1 week that I've been on it. Well, from literally 30 minutes after I took the injection to, what was it? Monday or Tuesday evening at like 8 p.m. It was Monday evening at 8 p.m., like almost right on the dot, is when I started feeling better. So all Thursday night, all Friday, all Saturday, all Sunday, 90% of Monday, I was so fucking depressed. And all I could do was eat, sleep, and cry. Like, that was it. I tried to go over to my friend's house and hang out with her. That didn't work out too well. I was only able to stay for maybe an hour, and then I slept for 6 hours after I came back home. And it was so horrendous that I sat at my kitchen table and just cried for 15 minutes for no reason. Just sat there and just, like the ugly cry where your mascara's down at your ankles by the time you're done type crying. So I sent a message to my doctors yesterday telling them what had happened. And these motherfuckers had the audacity to send back, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, well, we knew that it caused severe or worsening depression. It's kind of on the list of things. What? They didn't tell me about that. They didn't say, hey, Michael, there's this possibility that your depression's going to get a little bit worse, and if you start feeling that way, you know, this is what's happening, contact us. Nothing. Just, here, put this in under the muscle and do this once every 2 weeks. Yeah, about that. So I wrote up this huge rant and diatribe on Facebook about how pissed off I was, and that they were lucky that I didn't sue them and all this other stuff, because for somebody who has suicidal ideations, which is one of my mental health issues, with my depression being that bad, had I actually been suicidal at the time, there's a great chance that I could have ended my life. Here's a middle finger to all of you fucking trolls who are gonna watch this video and send me all kinds of bullshit, like telling me that I should end my life, that I'm a waste of space, and that I just need to get up off my big fat ass and do something, and that I need to do this, that, or the other thing. Fuck you. Fuck your family tree. I hope it dies at the roots. There it is. For the rest of you who understand mental health and are educated, unlike the knuckle-dragging sub-monkeys that are going to comment on this and try to troll me, that's what's been going on. So the whole last month or two of the radio silence has just been me mourning and grieving for the loss of my friends and what has been going on with me also. In one of my last videos, I think I was telling you guys that I was going to be going out to Modesto to go spend time with my mom, and I don't know if I covered it or not, so I'm just going to briefly touch on it. But I'm a Southern California boy, so I've never been north except to Santa Barbara. And I expected Northern California to be mountainous and kind of like it is here in Washington, like trees and everything else. I did not expect Modesto to be a continuance of the Coachella Valley. Literally, like, I couldn't tell the difference between Modesto and Coachella, except for Modesto has aqueducts all throughout the whole fucking city that makes it just like 30,000 times hotter than what it normally is during the summer, because you have that hot summer heat evaporating all the water, making the humidity like 2 billion%. And having grown up in Palm Springs, I am somewhat used to having a 130-degree summer. But when I went down there, Jesus Lord have mercy, I almost died because of how hot it was. And I've learned that I can't really deal with temperatures above 75 anymore. And there was a couple of times this summer that it got over 75 here in Washington, but it was like a welcomed 75 plus versus what I had left in California. So yeah, and you know, coming home, that was a whole ordeal too. Well, actually getting there was quite a long journey also. My mom came to Washington and bought an RV, and I drove back with her, and it took us 14 hours to drive from the Olympia area of Washington all the way down to Modesto. Yeah, we left at 7:30 in the morning. We pulled into her house at 12:30 at night. For the most part, it was a really enjoyable ride. The motorhome was really nice and comfortable. Got to see a lot of scenery. We went the same way that we came up when I moved to Washington, but I don't remember the scenery as much. Partially because I slept a lot, and there was a lot of times where it was just too much for me because I was just getting out of the hospital at the time, and I had like no sleep for the 2 days prior to our leaving. And then we left really late in the afternoon instead of getting an early morning leave like I wanted to, or even leaving at night so that we had the whole time to sleep or whatever. But we got to Grants Pass, Oregon going down, and fuck that place. It was so hot that I started developing heat stroke just waiting for our gas to get pumped. And I feel so sorry for the people who have to live and work there, because there was no air conditioning in the office. Like, we were at a mobile gas station. There was no air conditioning in the store. No place for these poor guys to get like any relief except for this little water hose thing that had a spray attachment to it, and they would just go through and take a drink from there and wash their face down and try to cool off. We even went to a Dairy Queen, and it was so blasted hot in that Dairy Queen that our ice creams were melting before they ever gave them to us. Like, people were standing in the freezers trying to cool off and still having to like cook up food and stuff. So anyways, spent the time there in California, met family, did a little sightseeing because I'd never been to Modesto. Then when I was coming home, I was originally going to fly out of San Francisco, and I was excited to be able to fly out of San Francisco because I had never been to Frisco, and I wanted to see the Golden Gate Bridge, and my mom was talking about like doing all kinds of like sightseeing tours and things like that, and we were going to go to Pier 32 and have sushi and stuff like that. Well, she ended up not wanting to drive out to San Francisco, so I ended up flying out of Sacramento, which really wasn't that big of a deal. She lives like an hour or two away from San Francisco, and so we got up at 2:30 in the morning, got dressed and got ready, and left by 3, and got there at like, we made really good time, so we got there probably right at 4:30, and my flight was at 6. So I go through TSA and I do all the things, get to my gate, and my flight had been canceled. Yeah. My flight was canceled and it was moved to 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Now, the original itinerary that my mom had me booked for was I was going to go from Sacramento to Salt Lake City. I had a 2-hour layover in Salt Lake City, and then from Salt Lake City to Seattle, and then I live like 2.5, 3 hours away from Seattle, so it was going to be like over 14 hours worth of travel for me by the time it was all said and done. So I call up the airline and I'm like, hey, I happen to see that you guys are departing at 7:30. Can I just be put onto that plane? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, not a problem. So the earlier flight left at 7:30 and touched down at 9 in Seattle. So I was super excited about that, and we ended up, the pilot had us going so fast that Tower had to call us and tell us to slow down. So anyways, I finally get home after having been traveling since like 3 o'clock in the morning. Get home about 3 in the afternoon and I pass out, and I wake up about 7 and just start my day from there. So that's what's been going on with me for the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months I should say. So yeah, I don't know what I should do. Some of the people that I've talked to about the whole medication thing they've said that I should go to patient advocacy and maybe even put up a lawsuit against the hospital or the doctors for malpractice, for giving me something that could have potentially caused me to end my life. And so I really don't know. I'm going to do a little bit more soul searching and see what comes to me. But I've kind of put it out into the universe. And the other thing that I have a damned if you do, damned if you don't moral dilemma going on right now. My doctors have been so amazing to me in the past, getting me the help that I need, getting me the diabetic medications that I need, and the machinery that I need, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, putting me in harm's way by not explaining to me the effects of the medication, or giving me something knowing that I have this mental health issue or whatever. So I really don't know. I'm putting it out into the universe and praying on it right now. So there's that. Anyways, I just looked at the time and realized that I've been rambling a little bit longer than I wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it short, or cut it off now. So if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. And if you would like to get a hold of me, you can shoot me an email at hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And you can also visit the blog, because I've been blogging more than I've been doing video. So you can check out the blog. It's hellocupcakeitsme.com. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to you all really soon. Bye, guys.